All right, here we go. First thing you do when you are repainting is this. You take the volume down on your phone, not even to vibrate. Then you turn the light off and you turn it upside down like this because when you're doing this, you need no interruptions. Now, my doll that I'm working on today is a Journey Girl. I'm going to start with removing her original face paint. But before so, get your supplies available. Here, I'm using this sealer. It is an outdoor sealer by Folk Art. It is a matte sealer. It's very important. This is actually quite inexpensive, but I was very shocked at the quality. I have my main paints I'm going to use. Believe it or not, these are Matte Arcana. I find them to work best for me. 91% alcohol. I got this at Walgreens. You can't find it hardly anywhere else. This is the paint remover I buy from Sally's. As you can see, a lot of it's gone. And I already have some in a little top. You need Q-tips. You need a paper towel. As you can see, I have in this little area. And a small paper plate. Now I'm going to dip my Q-tip in here. Now, in case you're not familiar with this, you have to be careful because guess what? It can melt your doll's face. And it can damage the vinyl. Now I'm just using it to remove as much as possible at the moment. In fact, I think I'm just going to pretty much shut up and just let you watch. You cannot do this on any kind of doll because the cheaper the dolls are, the worse quality the vinyl is. They do not paint well. As for me, I'm very used to American Girl. The quality of the paint, well, not the paint, but the actual doll. I can't deal with this bright pink on her lips. I have my camera set on automatic. So it's going to be coming in and out to give you an idea. Well, to let you view from all different types of angles, to be honest. Now, I'm going to prop my leg up on this stool. To be honest, she's looking better without all that pink lipstick. Works for Barbie, but not with these. And the way she was store-bought condition. Now, you notice she has real lashes, but she also has painted lashes also up here and little ones down below. I'm just going to leave those there because they're not bothering me. They enhance if I do anything. I may enhance what's already there. Okay. First thing I start with are the eyebrows. And just for the record, the eyebrows are the most difficult. And I'm using dark chocolate brown. But I'm going to mix this because I use several different colors. And I'm going to mix it with a sable brown. And you have to make sure you shake it up properly. Don't worry, autofocus is on. I'm having to mess with the camera for my lighting. Now I'm going to mix these two colors. Her hair is wet, I just washed it. Alright, yes, I have all of these brushes. They're all different sizes. And I'm looking, I think I'm going to use this one. Yeah, it's very long, very pointy. And I'm going to dip the tip into water. And I'm going to mix these two colors. I've seen a lot of people's work on the internet. I've seen the internet, the pages people have all over the place for their custom dolls. I have to say the photography is amazing. But I'm also going to say that this particular brush is not going to work for this. It's actually real hair, but it's a bit too thick. So I'm having to come back in here. And I'm actually, this is a good thing to show you because it shows you that not all of these brushes will work for what you expect them to. Now, I also have another video that actually looks very much like this. Believe it or not, the coloring doesn't look quite like this in person. It has a much more natural look. Yeah, pretty much kind of like that. Another thing is too, whenever you're doing custom dolls, you have to go by the eye color, the skin color, overall texture. I have my camera set on autofocus, so if it's looking a little blurry, you have to give it a moment. I know some people thought I had completely stopped. Yes, I posted about stopping for the year 2015. I had to take a break, pretty much, and I did very limited edition of dolls made over for the year 2015. Now, my biggest issue is getting the eyebrows to look alike. And that's usually where I end up having to do a lot of removing and starting over. But then also, if you look in the mirror, your eyebrows are not going to be the exact same shape or size. She knows how to keep frequently cleaning my brush. Alright, camera, come on, zoom in for me. Hmm. See, they're not exactly the same. Never comes out the same. Ever, ever, ever. So, what you do with that is you have to try and make it even it out as much as possible. Right, my window in here is open and there is a little net flying around. Apparently it wants to be repainted as well. Ugh, it's just moving all over the place. Okay, and then I end up having to look and see what I need to reshape. The darker side looks much better on camera, but I have to say, I think it does in person too. Wow, very realistic. Actually, it looks better in person. So here we go with a Q-tip, and I'm going to try and tighten this on here as much as possible. And I'm going to dip it into the acetone. And then I'm going to even this up. Now, I will say this is not for everyone. So please know, if you're not really a painter, I really don't recommend this. It takes time, takes patience, and it takes years of experience. And that is something I had to learn from experience. It took me a long time to maneuver this. All right, now another thing you want to do too is take a thicker brush before this paint actually gets dry, because it's the same color I use for the nails. Now this particular doll, her nails are sort of pointy, so you want to get a brush that's going to work with these hands. They're very slender, very feminine. They're not as quite as thick as American Girl. Nope, that looks a little too brown, so no, don't worry. Lip color and is a perfect color for the nail color if you're going for something a little more natural. So, great. I dropped that brush. Now I'm going to come back in. I'm debating on whether I want to add another color in with her eyebrows because her hair is blonde. And to be honest, I really like this color on her. I think I'm actually going to leave it. I think I am going to add a little, but maybe not. I'm going to mix a little more brown in with the two colors I have already mixed. Going to go back in with the skinnier brush, blend this in with the other two colors. So basically, this is already even though I've already used it, but it's making it more like 3-color blend currently at this time. Because I love the 3-dimensional look. I think I do need a camera to take some pictures. Because this looks very different in person. Um, Alright, come on, autofocus. You have to do better than this. And some people, yeah, they are actually going to get paint on their doll's eyeball. Me, I clean most of the water off the brush, take my brush, rub it into on the eyeball, and it'll come right off. Okay, now I'm going to do the colors for the lips. I want something pretty natural. So, what I'm going to do, I'm going to take a pink, more like a fuchsia, 1 drop. That was a very thick drop. Sable brown. No, I'm not going to go digging into what's already over there because it's already started drying. These paints dry fast. It's very important. This is why I did a recommendation about paper. Practice on paper with drawing, first drawing, because drawing you will learn how to do a very, it will teach you how to do very straight lines, nicely curved lines. It structures you. Helps you be able to create very fine lines instead of sloppy ones. That looks very pink, but trust me, in person, has a more lavender. I am going to slap a little brown in here. Thin this out some. Get a little more of that in. See how this is going to look on her nail. It's a perfect color for her nail. In case you're wondering why I chose a Journey Girl for this, because they're on sale at Toys R Us. For $19.99, or you can get the $2 gift set with 2 extra fashions for $39.99 with free shipping. I should probably tell you today's date. Come on, clear. Well, you kind of get the picture even though it's not coming clear. Usually I do the nails last, but I'm doing them first this time because honestly I wanted to see what this color was going to look like. Anyway, this doll is part of the exclusive. She's a, yeah, see, that's how her face actually looks. That looks more like her skin tone. Anyway, I have to lift my leg up. I have a stool that I'm actually have some of my stuff on, and it helps to prop up your feet. Because the thing about this is you can't just be in one spot. You have to be able to move and maneuver your body to go with certain areas in painting with the doll. I didn't say it was easy to do this. It is challenging, which is why I highly recommended people to first learn how to draw. You have to learn how to be able to do these certain strokes, very smooth strokes, very thin strokes. And then too, you have to have an idea of what you want to do. That's how it starts, is with an idea. So for me, I want to create a 3D look on her. I also do this as lessons through Skype, and I pretty much charge $60 for an hour. But it's more detailed. I'm working at your pace, not mine. Here I'm working at my pace. There. That's the inside of her mouth. Now it doesn't look this color in person. There was some paint on her eyeball. Got it. Cleaning my brush off. Alright, this paint dries quickly, so now I'm going to go ahead and do her toes as well. The reason I use a brown mixed in with the colors is because it neutralizes them so that they aren't bright. You know, like bright colors like they're glowing in the dark. Oh, and I will tell you this from experience. You have to get into what I call the zone. You can't just say, okay, I'm just going to pick up a brush and start painting. Oh gosh, I wish it was that simple. It is not. When I say the zone, I have to be in the mood to do this. I can't just pick up a paintbrush, start mixing colors, creating something, say, okay, I'm just going to. No, you have to be completely in the mood. Okay. She has very pretty feminine feet. Very girly. Have no idea why this coloring is looking so orangey. Let me flip this light. Because my light bulbs that I use, they have daylight written on them. Where is that camera going? Oh, that was supposed to make it look lighter. I don't think it helped. See, there's my stool. You see my footsies? That's where I have my product. Okay. Now, lips. Make sure I didn't mess up her toes. No. See, it's drying very quickly, which is what I wanted. Now let me clean out this brush. Well, it looks like I should have left this alone the way it was. Sorry. Okay. Now finish up her lips. There's her top lip. She has a very nude, natural color. Now I have to run in with a smaller brush and do slight little touches just before this dries. And that's in these little crevices, corners of her mouth. But really, there is no secret. The thing is, either you have it or you don't. And what I mean by that is, either you have the natural talent or you don't. It's just something that comes from inside of you as an artist. There are some people, I see their work, and I'm like, oh, wow, that looks good. I like it. And I mean, I really like their work, some people's work. But you know, it's really difficult. You can't really copy someone else or make a forge where you have someone else's work. Each and every person has their own style, their own technique. Now, as you know, I already have 3 colors that are mixed where I did this. And this is another 3 colors. So this will make 6 colors in all just to do that. That's right here at the pulp of the eye. Now we'll clean this brush. Let that dry. And you want the 90% alcohol to clean your brush. You can get brush cleaner, that's fine. I just used alcohol because that's just what I choose to use. Don't worry about slight imperfections. That's what's going to make her look more realistic. Now I'm going to have to seal. Do I want to add more lashes? Sorta, kinda, almost. I'm gonna add a little bit. I already see where. So I'm gonna take some black, drop it in, moisten the tip of my paintbrush. Lift her arms up. I don't want to touch the paintwork that's already been done. Before and after. And I'm going to go underneath the lashes and add a few more. And bring it out in a very wispy way. And I don't like that. It's too many in there. So I'm cleaning my brush and I'm going right back in and remove some. Actually, I'm just going to remove all of that. And when you're working with a cheaper doll, that paint is going to leave a mark. It's going to leave a little bleeding mark. So Me, I'm not really concerned. Because like I said, she has a cheaper doll. And I would be able to use her. It is very difficult to do this and to talk because your body moves and it takes the focus out of your arm to do those tiny little hair strokes. Let's see. Oh, and I am going to tell you now from experience, you're always going to do one side better than the other. Unless you are magically gifted to do left hand and right hand, as I unfortunately am not. But for those who are, I envy you. Now I'm going to go back, do my little brush a little more. Now, just for the record, this is just a quick updraft. Now, if this was a doll that someone sent in to me to be repainted, I would clearly not have been able to do this quickly at all. Don't know why she looks orange, but believe me, that's not how it looks in person. I am going to go ahead real briefly and apply the sealer on her lips as soon as I find it. There we go. You want to gently shake it, roll it like this. Pop the top open and use what's in the top. Now I need a softer. Okay, now I need my alcohol again. This brush feels a little rough, so I'm going to dip my brush in. The alcohol removes all of this residue paint. And it can also remove residue on your doll. There, much better. And I'm going to saturate the brush with the sealer. This is, see, there's a little marking right there on her face. I'm not worried about it. 2 reasons. It's my doll and I'm not going to resell her. At least I don't plan on it right now. Now, See how that turned out? Look at my brush. It has paint. Because once you've cleaned your brush with some alcohol, even if it's dry, once you apply this sealer, it will and can remove paintwork that you already have on here. So just to warn you about that, like I said, you have to really practice stuff on paper to really get a sense of what you're doing. Now I'm going back to another paintbrush of another size. Now I've moistened the tip. Can't even tell you what size they are because you see I've cut it. Look at those little hairs on it. This has been cut. So I had to cut it in order to make it be the size I wanted because I couldn't find the size I needed in the store. Well, the supply store where I buy these things. I'm also going to apply a little bit. See this particular sealer right underneath the eye. For realism. Okay. Now while that's drying, I'm cleaning this brush. I'm closing the gloss for right this moment. Now I'm going to set that brush aside. Actually, I am not. I'm going to use this brush, white paint. I'm going to shake the white paint into the top. Then I'm going to open it because I'm not going to waste my time pouring paint out of this. And I'm going to now work on her tips. And see, this is why I tell you practice with your paper to learn how to build on stability. Oops, my arm is touching her lips. Thank goodness it's drying quickly. And there are her French manicure. Okay. Now the other arm. Have to clean my brush. Like I said, this paint, it dries quickly. And it can dry on your brush and make your work clumpy. Okay. Now for her toenails. And I start from the outer side. All right, come on camera. Focus here. Hold on. Let me... adjust. Well, this is as good as I can get it to come in, unless I stick the camera in my mouth. but I'm sure you get the idea. And I have videos on this. They're older, yes, so this is definitely newer. My color scheme has changed. My technique hasn't really. If anything, I mean, it has improved, especially since I've seen the earlier dolls. Oh, wow, that shows it really good up close now, huh? There are her toes. Let's check out the face. Oh, well, I should have had it like that. See, you saw her turn orange? That's how she actually looks in person. And you can see the darker color, maybe perhaps, yeah, inside the mouth. Don't her eyes really pop? Isn't that gorgeous? I love the rooted hair. This hair is very silky. I do recommend if you get one to wash your hair. I use Herbal Essence shampoo and conditioner. Look how real that looks. And with this doll, you can restyle her hair. You can wash it. The stuff I use, you don't have to worry about it. Once this is sealed, I mean properly, if it's sealed properly, you can wash your doll's face. Doesn't matter. You can let it, it can get a little wet. It's not going to hurt her. I mean, once it's been properly sealed, of course. Now I'm closing up some of these paints. Get them back into here because I'm not going to be using those more at this moment. Now, I am going to begin applying the gloss sealer on all of the paintwork. Why? Because the matte sealer, I always use two different sealers. This is with any of my paintwork. And it's a shame I can't. Here, let me turn around this way a little bit. You see that high gloss, right? And this is a very important thing. When you're working with this, you really cannot stop your paintwork. You can't stop just adding it on. You have to continue. You cannot stop. You can't take a break. If you mess up, you have ruined your paintwork because you will have to remove everything and start over. And that's just from messing up the sealer. If you make a mistake with your sealer, you have ruined your paintwork. You will have to remove everything with fingernail polish remover. I mean, yeah, with the acetone. See, that's the difference. This is 100% pure acetone. And you see down there where it says that it easily removes artificial nails, glitter polish, gel, nail glue, all of that. Okay, if it can remove all of those things, imagine what it can do to your doll's plastic because it melts plastic nail tips. So that can also do the same thing to your doll. This is why it's very important. You know what you're doing before you're doing it. Because you can ruin, if you're doing American Girl, oh wow, you can ruin easily a $120 doll, especially if it's brand new. If it's an older one, you can still ruin it. Doesn't matter if you pay $10 for it. When you're playing with paint, when you're playing with these chemicals, okay, you're taking a risk into permanently damaging and ruining what you have. I mean, some people do paint work and they don't seal it. And then once you've purchased it, and let's say your dog gets dusty, she gets dirty, you want to clean her, you wipe it, and psh, all the paintwork comes off because it wasn't sealed properly. It's very important to seal your paintwork properly. Now I'm pulling her arm down because I'm going to seal. Have you noticed I've been using a different brush with everything? That's why you need so many brushes. For me, I use a certain brush for certain painting areas. I also use different brush for painting like tips, lashes, eyebrows, and sealers. Now here, those are her nails. Look how shiny they are. She now has French fingertips. And I do everything in a cycle. And see, normally with an American Girl doll, it takes longer. I mean, this video was already over 50 minutes. And when I'm doing custom work for someone else, it definitely takes longer. Because with an American Girl doll, you can't rush it. You don't want to rush it. But when you have a cheaper brand doll, you know, I don't mind. I mean, well, for myself, I can sort of just, I'm only doing paint work. She doesn't need new hair. And two, I mean, I'm just now, today is my first day of actually doing a video on paint work. Since my car collision accident, my vision has been extremely off. So that has made it very difficult for me to do any paint work. That's why I hadn't been able to do any dolls. I had to start with drawing. I had to do like on my Facebook page. I had to go back to paper and drawing on paper before I could actually get up to doing actual paint work like this. Oh man, and see it, this is why when I'm painting American Girl doll, I do everything separately. All the paint work. And let it dry a piece at a time, because your arm is going to hit something. But also, like I said, this paint dries fast, so you're limited with the time, which is why it's very important that you have practice on paper. Very important to practice your technique on paper first. This way you can get a feel of the paint, get used to what you're working with, and you will just know your time limit that you have before your paint work will actually be dry, because once it's dry, it's permanent. A lot of it is, especially when you're sealing. When you're working with these sealers, yeah, that paint work will be permanent. And then it can get where if it's like even in your brush, the brush is no longer any good. You have to throw it away. Same thing can happen to your doll. You're taking a chance when you're doing this. I mean, a serious chance. Have I messed up any dolls? Of course. That's how I know the difference when it's the quality. If you want a doll of good quality, and let's say you want a doll that's not American Girl, and you're curious to know about the quality, Journey Girl. I've already tried the Walmart kind. Oh God, the paintwork looked horrible. It was dreadful. It was so amateur looking. It was horrid. And then the paint bled into the doll's vinyl. And there was nothing I can do to get it out. Not even the oxy stuff. It doesn't help. If the doll is made of cheap plastic, that's just cheap plastic. There's nothing you can do for that. You can't improve the quality of the doll's plastic. So that is why I recommend paper first. And yes, I can teach you how to draw with paper. You have to be able to have some creativity. Depends on your process. And it depends on how fast you're willing, I mean, not willing, but you're able to learn. You know, there's so many different factors involved when it comes to art, when it comes to paint, period. With pencil, drawing paper, you know, it's fine. It's easy to make a mistake, and it's not as damaging because you're with paper. Very important, clean your paintbrushes. I use 91% alcohol. And now I'm going back making sure these are clean. And I'm passing time while her paintwork is drying. See, normally with American Girl dolls, I take one day and I do the paintwork. Usually in about 5, 6 hours later, I apply the first coat of sealer, which is a gloss. I apply a gloss sealer on all of the paintwork. And I apply an indoor-outdoor gloss sealer. Once that is taken about 3 or 4 hours to 6 hours to dry, I then go over with an outdoor matte sealer because this is durable polyurethane and it's non-yellowing. And this is an outdoor matte sealer. The reason I choose an outdoor sealer is because if it is strong enough to go outside, that means it is weatherproof. So, and if it's on your doll, that means it makes your doll where she can be cleaned. You can take a wet washcloth with a little soap and water to clean her. So, you know, so this way, like, you don't have to be as concerned or as intimidated to use to play with her, to redress her, or to take her traveling with you, take her outside, you know, things of that nature. Like with dolls like this here, you don't have to be scared of washing her hair, even after she's been repainted. Now I'm going to tell you this particular matte sealer has a strong scent. So I'm here in front of the window and it is definitely open. I also have air conditioner on, but it's set at a temperature. Now I'm using the matte sealer. That was the eyebrows. Now for the added lashes. A lot of factors play into part when it comes to sealing your paintwork. Depends on the humidity, the time of day it is. Like a rainy day, your paintwork, oh my gosh, it's going to take forever. If it's too hot, it's going to dry extremely fast. And see, I'm using another brush, different size. And yes, for me, professionally, it takes me all of these brushes to do all this work. Now she's pretty much done. And you see how shiny that is? As it dries, it's going to get flat. It's already drying up in here. It's already drying. I can, because the shininess is going away. There. See, it's only a little area. Yeah. See, this here is pretty much dry almost. And I am going to go back up in here with a slightly second coat of the sealer, the matte sealer, of course. But I don't have to. I'm doing it because I just wanted to. All right, now I'm going to clean my brush because these sealers, once they are dry, it is permanent. There's nothing you can do to remove the sealer. Seriously, especially on your brushes. I mean, once that sealer is dry permanently on your brush, there's nothing you can do to save it. It's ruined. So this is why I have a stool right here with product. It's all up over there. So my brushes are ready to be cleaned as soon as possible. Her toes are dry. Pretty, pretty toes. And I don't know where I'm going to sign her. I don't want to do her feet because she has a legs. These dolls, their bodies are made like this. They can actually hold a sitting position. This is vinyl, only here to here. Only this part down here is fabric. But they hold their legs better than American Girl for a sitting position. And they're cheaper. This is very good fabric. So she's very well made. Oh, another thing, when you're painting your doll, unless you're completely professional, remove the clothes. Now, you see where it's drying? It's not as glossy. I see a little gloss spot right there. I will touch it up in a minute. I'm not going to be concerned about that right now. Oh, and you know how your dolls get marks? You know how they get these little gloss marks, stuff like that, rub marks? I have found that the polish remover can get rid of that and make it back matte. See, it's gone. And that was from just a very small dab of, there are her nails. Let's see the other hand. And there's her face. And this, my darlings, is her paintwork. As you can see, the eyebrows are drying. It just has where the arch is. That has not dried yet. But this is pretty much how she looks. See, that's where the sealer is still wet. But it's dry up in the middle there. Anyway, this is her makeover. Repainted and done. Hope you found it helpful. Bye.